Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. It's been a little while since I've said that we're changing it up today. Usually we'd do a live stream for the game preview, but we're doing it as a video today. I'm a little bit busy over the next couple of days, so I couldn't quite find time to stream, so I thought, you know what, why not just do it as a video like the good old days, how the channel started, previewing and reviewing games, just sitting in front of a camera and talking to a camera and then replying to everybody's comments afterwards. I absolutely love live streaming. I think it's absolutely amazing to be able to sit there and interact with you guys as obviously the stream is going on, but sometimes, you know, I just have to do things as a video, so that's why we are here today. It is of course the game preview to Spurs versus Everton, the last game of the season at Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium, whatever they've decided to call that. I'm not quite sure if they've even given it a name yet, so let's just call it Spurs Stadium, at their stadium of course. Listen, it's a massive game for Everton in regards of getting the 3 points at the end of the season. Doesn't really mean much. We can't climb the table. Obviously, Wolves have solidified that 7th place. Leicester can climb above us if they get a win and we fail to, and they can finish 8th and we can finish 9th. But basically, we're either going to finish 8th or 9th, and there's not much difference between the two spaces other than saying we finished 8th or we finished 9th, basically. Listen, I think we've had a good season. I do. I think, you know, it's been a rollercoaster ride, of course. There has been some massively inconsistent moments. We'll talk about the season in future videos and future live streams, of course. But, you know, it's important that we go out there on Sunday night and we go out there and we put a good account of ourselves. Listen, we've played, you know, 3 top 6 sides in the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks. We've played Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United, and we've absolutely obliterated every single one of them. And I'm not just talking about the result. I'm not just talking about the fact that we've come away with the 3 points. I'm talking about the performance, you know. At the end of the day, we've played these sides and we've absolutely embarrassed them at Goodison Park. And I know it's at Goodison Park and I know it's a little bit different than playing them away from home. But when you're bringing sides like that to your home ground and you're absolutely destroying them, then it shows that you're moving forward and it shows that we have progressed. And I don't think any Evertonian will disagree with the fact that we've only gotten better since last season. Yes, there's been some inconsistent moments, and yes, at times this season it's been a little bit frustrating, talking obviously the month after the Liverpool defeat when we really struggled to get any sort of win whatsoever. But I think it's fair to say that when it's been at its best this season, it really has been fantastic. And we go on now obviously to playing Spurs away from home as we speak, as I'm recording this video. They're currently getting beat 2-0 by Ajax in the second leg of the Champions League, so it looks like they're going to be knocked out of the Champions League, and Ajax are going to progress to play those lot in the final. But listen, it proves that they're beatable. And I'm not saying that Everton are in any way, shape or form on a level with Ajax, but what I'm saying is that Spurs are beatable. We've seen that by West Ham going there a couple of weeks ago and getting 3 points as well. I don't think we should go with fear. I don't think we should be intimidated. I think we should go with exactly the same outlook as we did when we played Manchester United and Arsenal and Chelsea at Goodison Park. We need to go there knowing that we're the underdog, and we need to go there knowing that we need to press high, and we need to make sure we create the opportunities that, you know, will win us the game, and we need to make sure, more importantly, we take those opportunities. We've seen, you know, quite a difference in Everton performances over the last sort of 2 or 3 months. We've seen performances like the United game where we created a plethora of opportunities and we took most of them and we ended up winning 4-0, and we've seen a game on the other hand like the, you know, the Palace game where we created opportunities but we couldn't quite, you know, break the deadlock and ended up only getting a point. And then, you know, the totally other end of the scale, we've seen the Fulham game where we just didn't create much at all and we weren't in the game and we got absolutely obliterated by a side that have already been relegated. So it's massively important for me that we go out and we treat this game exactly like the United game or the Arsenal game or the Chelsea game at Goodison Park. Like I said, Spurs are beatable. They really are beatable. You know, they're a fantastic side, of course. I hold Spurs in the category of, you've got City and Liverpool in the Premier League, although that kills me to say, and then, you know, they're a sort of a league above everybody else. Then you've got Spurs, who are much better than United, Chelsea and Arsenal, and then you've got everybody else. And I generally do think we are in the mix of everybody else. I think on our day we're better than United, Chelsea and Arsenal, and I really do think if we can add consistency to our playing style, if we can add that consistency week in, week out, if we can bring in a couple of additions, if we can bring in a 20 to 30 goal a season striker next season, then I do really think we can challenge those sides for the top 6, and I do think we've got a realistic chance of getting in that top 6. But I still put Spurs above us in that, you know, in that category. I put Spurs above Arsenal, I put Spurs above Chelsea and United as well. So we're facing realistically the 3rd best side in the league, and you know, you can look at it on paper and you can say, oh, they've been beaten by West Ham, or, you know, there's been games this season where they've proven they can be exploited, but at the end of the day, they're sitting in a Champions League semi-final now, and that game's not over. I could finish recording this and they could be 3-2 up. You know, you never really know, do you? So at the end of the day, Spurs are a fantastic side, and they're not a side that we should be approaching negatively. They're not a side that we should be approaching, A, thinking we're going to get absolutely battered, what's the point, and B, thinking, you know, oh, they can be beat, so let's just go out there and do our normal game. We need to be 100% on the game. We need to be focused, concentrated, constantly, and we need to be making sure that we're bringing that aggression, that passion, that fight, and we need to want it more than Spurs do. We see in the reverse fixture at Goodison Park earlier on in the season when they absolutely obliterated us, our biggest defeat sort of this season, I'd say. Maybe not the most disappointing because Spurs are a fantastic side, but definitely our biggest defeat this season. So we need to understand what can happen against the side as good as Spurs, but we also need to understand that if we play to the very best of our ability and we catch them on an off day, or we play to the very best of our ability and, you know, they get a little bit intimidated about the fight and the passion that we're showing, we can come away with the 3 points. Got no doubt about that. Listen, I don't think any Evertonian will argue that if we're at our best and Spurs are at their best, they'll win the game of football. But it's not to say that we can't be at our best and they can have a little bit of an off day. They, you know, their feelings are going to be a little bit down in the dumps, obviously, if they get beat tonight and if they get knocked out of the Champions League semi-final. There's a fantastic opportunity there to go to a semi-final. They've got a lot of players that are, you know, and ahhing as to whether to stay next season. Of course, the manager, we don't know whether he'll be there next season. So Spurs mightn't be in the best of moods come Sunday, and we need to make sure we capitalise that, and we need to make sure we take advantage of that, and I certainly think we can do. Listen, in this video, of course, we're going to go through the predicted starting 11 as we usually do. It is the last game of the season. Let me know your thoughts as well on how you think the Premier League season has gone. I dare say we'll all be sitting here in a similar vein thinking, you know what, it's been a little bit of a rollercoaster ride, but we can clearly see that we're improving. So we need to understand as a fan base that by bringing a couple of players in the summer and getting rid of some of the deadwood, we know that we've only improved this season and we only will improve next season. So I think that, you know, the general consensus in Evertonians will be that it's been a good season, it's been positive. You know, we've got some really, really big results and some really, really big performances as well, and we need to make sure that we carry that on Sunday as well. Spurs are a beatable side, they are, but they're also a side that could turn around and tonk you 6-0 on the day if you're not on your game, and they proved that earlier on in the season at Goodison Park. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go on to talk about the predicted starting 11. My starting 11 hasn't changed much. In fact, it hasn't changed at all since the starting 11 that beat Burnley at Goodison Park last week 2-0. Jordan Pickford in goal as per usual, pretty self-explanatory one now. It's been exactly like that all season and it will remain like that. Luca Dean at left back again, another self-explanatory one. Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane at centre-half with Seamus Coleman at right back. Now, there may be some people saying maybe Phil Jagielka will play, but it's going to be his last game for Everton. I highly doubt Phil Jagielka will compete in this game. If Phil Jagielka was to play, you know, or was to start a game of football, if it is to be his last season at Everton Football Club, it would have been the game against Burnley. It only made sense. It was at home, in front of the home crowd, and it was against a team that, you know, let's be honest, aren't anywhere near as good as Spurs. But Marco Silva didn't take that decision in that game, so he's not going to take it against Spurs. I do firmly think it will be Kurt Zouma. Yerry Mina obviously still, you know, on the injury list. Maybe he's a little bit fit, maybe he's fully fit, who knows really anymore, to be honest. I think it's going to be Kurt Zouma, undoubtedly, and Seamus Coleman at right back. Now, that back four for me is pretty self-explanatory. It's remained like that for the past few weeks, and it should remain like that because at the minute, at this moment in time, that is the best back four that we have. They are the best set of defenders that we currently have to our disposal. Kurt Zouma has been absolutely fantastic this season, and it's going to be an absolutely massive loss if we have to lose him, if we can't sign him on a permanent from Chelsea. Of course, Michael Keane has been massively improved this season as well. A player that, you know, we signed last season from Burnley, didn't have the best season. Some people were saying he wasn't worth the money. Some people saying that, you know, he doesn't live up to expectation, but I think this season he's probably been our most improved player, and I think that's fair to say. And then, of course, Luca Dean, who for me has been, you know, our best player this season by a country mile. I think he's been player of the season. He's been absolutely fantastic. Such a bargain at around £12 million as well. And, you know, listen, he is a prime Leighton Baines, and either that's all you can say. The lad is a prime Leighton Baines, and he's boss. He just is boss, isn't he? Of course, right back captain Seamus Coleman, again, pretty self-explanatory one. Seamus will take the armband. Now, going into the midfield, here's where it gets a little bit juicy for me, and here's where I think a lot of fans will differ in opinions. I've gone for the exact same midfield that beat Burnley 2-0 at Goodison Park last week. Morgan Schneiderlin, Adissa Ganagay, and of course, Gylfi Sigurdsson in there as well. Now, I think a lot of people will be tempted to take Morgan Schneiderlin out and put Andre Gomez in there, and that's completely fair enough. I understand that completely. However, I just think that with the performances that Morgan Schneiderlin's been putting in recently, I don't think he deserves to be taken out whatsoever. I think he deserves to be given another game. At the end of the day, like we said, it's our last game of the season. The result doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, we want to go out and we want to get a win for ourselves, and we want to get a win so that we go into the summer positively, and we can sit there and we can go, you know what, we've proven that we can beat a top six side away from home here, so let's go into the summer positively. Let's bring some new players in. Let's get rid of some of the dead wood, and then hopefully we can, you know, start again next season positively. But I think it would be really, really unfair to take Morgan Schneiderlin out and put, you know, Andre Gomez straight back in. Listen, Andre Gomes is a fantastic footballer, and for me still is technically our best midfielder. I think that we have to our disposal. Whether we sign him on a permanent is still, to be found. I believe we will sign him on a permanent, but there's other sides in for him, and of course Barcelona will want, the maximum amount of money that they can get for him, and given their performance the other night against Liverpool, they're a bit shite, aren't they, really, away from home, so they might want to keep him for squad depth, who knows. But yeah, for me, listen, it's a tough decision for Marco Silva, it really is, for a couple of reasons. One, because, Andre Gomes has been fantastic this season. He hasn't really put a foot wrong, other than the stamp, which was a little bit silly, and a couple of poor, lazy performances. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. Two, because I think still he's technically our best midfielder. And three, obviously, because it could be his last game for Everton, so Marco Silva might be tempted to throw him in, give him the support from the away fans, show him that, the fans really want him here, and he really wants him here, and maybe use it as a little bit of a persuasion to get him to sign that contract. Who knows? But I really think it will be, it'd be quite disappointing if Morgan Schneiderlin's taken out, and it would be, it'd be a little bit arse if I do admit. And I know there's no room for, trying to make players happy for the sake of it or whatever, and if, if a player's not as good as another player, he should be taken out no matter the situation. I understand that, but for me, I don't think Morgan Schneiderlin's put a foot wrong. I think he's been absolutely fantastic when he's being called upon in this latter stages of the season, and I think he's been absolutely fantastic in the last 3 or 4 weeks where he's had to come in for Andre Gomes, where he's had to step in, when obviously Gomes has had that suspension. So I think it will be I think Marco Silva really does need to take a long hard look at the midfield and think, what, do I need to put Andre Gomes in? If I do need to put Andre Gomes in, if I think that Morgan Schneiderlin can't handle Spurs, if I think that Morgan Schneiderlin, isn't good enough for, to play in that midfield, then fair enough, take him out, bring Andre Gomes in, let him get his last game, and hopefully he's, he understands the appreciation, and hopefully he decides to sign the permanent deal. Or, hopefully, on the other hand, Marco Silva might think, what, Morgan's been playing well, he hasn't really put a foot wrong, he hasn't done anything for me to suggest that he needs to be taken out the squad, so we're going to give him another game as well, and we're going to say to Andre Gomes, listen, your place is more than welcome here. We want you here. We want you to sign for Everton Football Club, but you need to know that you need to fight for your place, and you're not just going to walk into this team week in, week out. You need to fight, and you need to show me that you're deserving of a place in that starting 11, and you're not just in there, because you're fit or whatever. If there's a player playing in your position that's playing as well or better, you need to fight to get back into that position. And I think Morgan Schneiderlin has been practically doing that. I think he's been playing as well, if not better, than Andre Gomes has in recent weeks. So why should he be taken out? If you disagree with that one, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, next to Morgan Schneiderlin for me, again, self-explanatory, isn't it, really? This kind of guy fits in there. I think he's been absolutely fantastic since, obviously, the whole PSG rumours in January, since he found out that he couldn't get his dream move that he said, since he found out that he was going to be at Everton Football Club till at least the end of this season. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. We've mentioned it in previous teams with the Morgan Schneiderlin situation. Is Morgan Schneiderlin performing at the level he is because he's looking to get a move out the club in the summer, or is he performing at the level he is because he wants to prove to Marco Silva that he can play in this team week in, week out? Again, similarly with the Disagana, is the Disagana now performing much better than he was at the start of the season because, he's trying to force that move out, he's trying to catch the eye and the attention of other teams and other managers, or is he performing at that level because he's purely simply getting his head down thinking, well, you know what, if I can't move to a different club, I'm going to get my head down and I'm going to give me 100% to Everton Football Club. Obviously, we'd like to say it's the latter for both players, but we don't know, do we? So, but for me, there's no question about it. Disagana starts next to whether it's Morgan Schneiderlin or Andre Gomes. Gylfi Sigurdsson, of course, in the number 10 role. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory. Been absolutely fantastic this season. Scored, 13 goals, 12 goals. Second highest goal scored other than Richarlison for Everton. Scored some fantastic goals. Man United's, Leicester's, that stick out, of course. And I think, listen, although Gylfi may be, guilty of not getting involved as much as he should do in certain games, I think it's important to understand just the effect that Gylfi Sigurdsson has on this team and his quality. I've said this for a while now. You might be able to question his work rate at times, but there's absolutely no question in the quality that the lad has. He can pick a pass from Mars to Earth, and he can hit a ball from fucking Jupiter to my house here. He's absolutely fantastic. He can hit it from anywhere with pace, power, and precision as well. And I think that's that's a massive part of Gylfi Sigurdsson's game. Plus the fact that we've not really got anyone else to play in the 10, and not really what anybody else that deserves to be put in there over Gylfi as well. So Gylfi started the last game of the season for me against his former club. Going into the attackers now, I've got Bernard on the left, Richarlison on the right, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, of course. The same front three as it's been for quite a while now. I don't think that should be changed. either we're playing a side that, you know, defensively are very good. They've got a strong midfield, so I think playing Dominic Calvert-Lewin as the number 9 will only benefit Everton Football Club, because it will allow him to stick next to those centre-halves and make sure that he drags players away from the likes of Richarlison and Bernard and Gylfi-Sigurdsson as well. That's what Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been doing fantastically. He's been sitting in that pocket next to the centre-half, and he's been able to bring players away from the likes of Bernard and away from the likes of Richarlison and allow them to get in behind players, because that opens up the game for those type of players. That opens up the game for Gylfi-Sigurdsson to find a cutting edge pass. If you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin who's sitting there, and he mightn't necessarily be getting a plethora of shots on target, he mightn't necessarily be, you know, scoring goals consistently week in, week out, but he's there to annoy the defenders. He's there to be an absolute pain in the arse, and I think he's done that better than anybody has in the last 5, 6, 7 to 10 weeks, or whatever you want to say. The period of time that he's been consistently in this team, he's done that fantastically, and he's done it against the top sides as well. He's proved that he can do it against the top sides. He's done it massively well against Arsenal and Manchester United as well, so there's no doubting that he can go away and do it against Spurs at their new fancy stadium with the fancy beer cups and all that shite. Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts up front for me. Richarlison, top goal scorer this season, absolutely no reason as to why he shouldn't be starting on the right hand side. I know Theo Walcott come in, and I know Richarlison's had a little bit of an injury scare of recent time, but you know, I dare say Marco Silva will confirm tomorrow that he is fit to start. He was fit to start against Burnley. I know he hobbled off, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he's fit, and if he is fit, he would of course start. And then Bernard on the left. Listen, we've seen Bernard get better as the season has gone on. We've seen him grow with stamina, with fitness. We've seen how good of a footballer he is. Technically, we always knew he was a fantastic footballer. Technically, we always knew what he had in his locker, but I think the only sort of doubt we had was whether he was going to be able to keep up with the pace of this league, was whether he was going to be able to get his fitness up in order to be able to, you know, go for 90 minutes week in, week out, and really be a, you know, a tool that we can utilise in this league. He's proven over recent weeks that his fitness is improving week by week, his stamina is improving week by week, his strength is improving week by week as well. And I think for me, Bernard's only going to get better, and we're only going to see a better version of Bernard when he's had a full pre-season under his belt next season, and I absolutely can't wait for that moment, because he's an absolutely fantastic footballer, technically one of the best I've seen at Goodison Park. And like I said, if he gets that stamina, he gets that fitness back up, and you know, he starts to maybe strengthen up a little bit and get, you know, used to the physicality of this league, I think we've got an absolute world beater on our hands. I really, really do. So that's my predicted starting 11 anyway for the Spurs game, last game of the season. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Leave your predicted starting 11s in the comment section down below as well. That really, really would mean a lot to me. Don't forget to leave the video a like if you are enjoying it so far, and subscribe if you haven't already. That also means a massive, massive, massive amount to me. Like, listen, it's a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. It really, really is going to be a tough game. There's no hiding the fact that Spurs are an absolutely fantastic side. They're a fantastic unit managed by a really, really top manager with some really, really top players. I know Harry Kane's injured, but they've still got the likes of Son, who's likely to play if they appeal his ban and, you know, it gets turned over. Eriksen, who's absolutely fantastic. They've got, obviously, Toby Alderweireld in defence. Hugo Lloris, who's a top keeper. They've got some fantastic players, and like I said, they're managed by an absolutely fantastic manager as well. So they're going to be wanting to end the season on a high, especially if they end up going out of the Champions League today. They're going to want them to be, you know, getting to their own fans and giving them a real show on the last day of the season, and, you know, basically giving them something to smile about after being so disappointed about being knocked out in the Champions League semi-final. So, you know, and like I said, we're going with passion, and we're going with heart, and we're going to win that game of football, because I generally do think we can get a result if we do that. Listen, they're a fantastic side, there's no doubt in that, but I think if we go there, we show our passion, we show our heart, and we play clever, we create the opportunities, and we make sure, more importantly, that we take the opportunities. I do think there's a massive opportunity of us getting a result against Spurs, and let's hope that that is the case anyway. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the preview for this game. I'm sorry it's a little bit short. Obviously, it would usually be longer if I'm doing a live team. Obviously, I'm interacting with the live comments. I'm talking about the predicted starting 11. I'm talking about the game in itself. I'm talking about the season in itself. So I do apologise that it's a little bit shorter. Hopefully, it's a little bit more watchable, and you can sit there and watch it on your break in work or whatever. I understand that some of the live teams are a little bit long, and some people sort of tend to zone out after 20 minutes because they get bored of my annoying Scouse accent. But anyway, like I said, just to sum it up, it's going to be a really, really tough side. Spurs are a fantastic side. It's going to be a tough game, but there's no reason as to why we can't go out there and play to the best of our ability. And if we do play to the best of our ability, and we end up catching Spurs on a day that they play to the best of their ability and they beat us, then, you know, you can't ask for more, can you? You can't ask for more than the lads trying their absolute hardest. If Spurs come and they do the same and they try the absolute hardest and they turn us over because they're a better team, then that's just fair enough. You'd have to hold your hands up for that. But like I said, if we can go out there, if we can get a positive result on Sunday, whether it be a draw, whether it be a win, and we can bring that back and we can say, you know what, we've ended the season there proving that we can go away to a top 6 side, we can go away to, you know, one of the best sides in the league, in the top 3 sides in the league, and get a positive result at their ground. Let's take that now. You know, let's have a little look at that going into next season. Let's go into the summer. Let's do what we need to do in the summer transfer window. Get rid of the deadwood that we don't need and bring in the players that we do need. Identify the problems. Identify, you know, where we need to strengthen. Do that and go into next season positively thinking, you know what, our last victory was against Spurs at their stadium, so against the top 6 side, so we know we can do that. So let's add consistency to our game next season and hopefully challenge for that top 6 next season, because I generally do think we're good enough to challenge the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal. Maybe not Spurs yet, and definitely not City or Liverpool yet, but definitely for me, Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United as well. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's preview. Please do let me know all your thoughts on what we've spoken about in the comment section down below. Once again, a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a change in plan, a video rather than a live team. Let me know how you've enjoyed that one. I'll of course be back on Monday for the full live game review. That will be live streamed at 6:15 on the channel, so don't forget to join me for that one. Going to be really exciting. I'll obviously be uploading the instant match reaction on Sunday afternoon as well, so don't forget to catch up on that one. Hopefully it's a positive reaction, and hopefully we're all sitting here going, you know what, whether it's a, you know, win, draw or loss, really good performance by the Blues, we can be proud of that. Let's take that on now and let's look forward to the summer and look forward to next season. But anyway, that's going to do it from me. A massive thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you did enjoy. Follow us on Twitter as well. Don't say that much on the live team because I'm always getting distracted with the live comments. Follow us on Twitter over there at MightyBluesYT. Just hit 500 followers over there, so a massive thank you to all of you for that. If you haven't already, do go and follow us on Twitter, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe because we're so close to 500 subscribers as well, and that means a massive amount to me. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to join me for the instant match reaction, of course, on Sunday afternoon after the game, and then for the live game review on Monday at 6:15. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.